Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and this week, not like last week, we have a huge variety. Obviously last week was a big Seiko drop. You guys and girls actually seem to really like that. We hit over 1,000 views in a couple of days on the YouTube video, which probably to most watch YouTubers out there that doesn't sound like a lot, but for us it is. And the reason being, you know, at the end of the day, these videos are focused on showing new stock. We don't sit here and talk about Rolex versus Amiga. We don't do clickbaity titles. Like, it is purely what it is. We show watches that are for sale on the website. So for that reason, we don't get the crazy tens of thousands of views that most people get in this industry. Well, not most, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, as always, down in the description, there is a link to every watch you see here on the table to go purchase. That's if it's still available. There's timestamps as well to skip to the specific watch you want to see on the table. And that's how it always is. I want to say a big thank you as well, because you guys and girls are keeping us very busy. This time of the year is always a bit strange, and I'm actually getting a lot of messages asking about, oh, well, there's clearly a correction to the market's crashing, blah, 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 blah. So let's touch on that real quick before we get into the watches. Is there a correction in the market? 100%. Is it on this kind of stuff? No. It's on the big sort of hype Rolexes and Pateks and Richard Milles and all the crazy stuff that you and I, for what I said, assume don't really deal in. Obviously there's probably a few of you out there who have those kind of crazy pieces, but for most of us who watch this channel, buy with us, we don't have that kind of crazy hype stuff. It has gone up very quick, very sharp, and therefore is having a bit of a correction. And also, you've got to remember, the market does this pretty much every single year. We're in tax season, and it's just the way it goes. There's a lot of uncertainty in the market. You know, prices are going up across the board in terms of electricity, living costs. So all these things will play a factor. But in general, I don't see any issues with the market. I don't think we should all be panicking and flogging all our watches unless you've got just insane hype pieces. Then, yeah, if that's your life savings, you might want to reconsider. But for the rest of us, people who buy this kind of stuff, it's perfectly fine. Keep buying, keep selling, keep doing what you're doing, and just don't panic. Now that that is all said and done, before we get on to what's on my wrist, I want to say a big thank you to the guys over at Chronopod. We were working on a project, and I wanted to be completely transparent with this. So we were working on a project which was some watch trays. Unfortunately, due to supply chain issues, that couldn't happen. And they refunded us instantly. They were very apologetic, and they actually surprised us by sending these two fantastic watch rolls. These are something you can purchase from them. They're vegan leather and vegan suede inside. They're just very, very nice, high quality. And what I'm thinking is we may give away the black one, because I quite like the brown one for me. So let me know down in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. We'll figure out how to do it. I think we've almost hit 10,000 followers on Instagram, so maybe we can just call it a 10,000 follower giveaway, even though I don't like doing those kind of things. I just like to give away randomly for no apparent reason. So this will be one of those. But let us know, is this something you'd be interested in? And if you have any suggestions on how we should do it, maybe a sort of raffle thing, or, you know, let us know down in the comments. Obviously it'll be completely free and anyone could participate. We're not going to charge, and also we'll ship worldwide for free as well. So yeah, that's just something very nice from the guys over at Chronopod. I will try to remember to leave a link to their website down below. If I don't, I believe it's chrono-pod.co.uk. Could be wrong on that. I'll put a correction on screen if I am. But very good, very high quality stuff, and they also do custom bits and bobs with my Chronopod, as it's called, where you can have your name put on it, or your logo and things like that. So maybe that's something we'll have a play around with in the future with them. But now that's out of the way, let's have a look at what's on wrist. So I have a honeymoon coming up, which is another important thing to mention. Not because I want to tell you guys about my honeymoon, but because I'm going to be out of the country from Thursday the 14th. So when you're watching this video, I will be away on a beach in the sun, ignoring my phone big time, unless it's emergency, of course, and if Danny needs anything. But I will not be working, I will not be answering the phone, I will not be responding to inquiries for the most part. Again, only if it's an emergency, please call me. And by emergency, I don't mean you want to sell me your watch. That's not an emergency. I don't even know what would be an emergency for a customer. There is no emergencies. I can deal with it when I get back. Danny will still be working. Now, something to keep in mind is the Friday, just before you're watching this video on the Saturday, and the Monday are bank holidays here in the UK. So Danny will not be in the office. He may still be doing a little bit of work here and there, but nothing major at all, because it is a bank holiday. We have the bank holidays off in the UK. mainly because of transport and me getting in. I can't get in on bank holidays. So keep that in mind. There will be no shipments going out on the Friday or the Monday. So if you order over the weekend, it will be shipped Tuesday, and in the UK with you Wednesday. So just keep those things in mind. That's a very important thing. But now, onto the watch. The reason I mentioned the honeymoon is because this is going to be my honeymoon watch. I just picked it up, actually from H. Samuels, believe it or not. I do buy from retail, and I do get some very good deals every now and again, just like the rest of you. But this is a special edition Paddy Turtle. The exact reference, because I've only just got it, is the SRPG 19K1 special edition, which means they probably produced about 5 million of them, knowing Seiko. But it's a really cool grenade style dial, highlights are blue. It's the King Turtle, so sapphire crystal with the Cyclops, which not a lot of people like, I don't really mind, and a ceramic bezel inlay as well. So really, really cool. I love this watch. As you guys know, big fan of Turtle. I always go on about them. However, I've not had one in the personal collection for a little while, so I thought it was about time to change that. And also, this is the one watch I can wear throughout my whole holiday, doing everything. So perfect. But now that all the rambling is out of the way, I think these ramblings are getting longer and longer each video, so I do apologise. Let's get on to some watches, shall we? So where to begin? I think we're going to start with the Tudors because we've got some really awesome ones on the table. And you know what? I'm actually going to start with my favourite of the bunch, believe it or not, which is actually the left-hand drive Pelagos. Let's have a closer look at this one. So starting off with a left-handed watch, as I pick it up upside down, a left-handed watch that you can actually get, and it's not green. You know, you be the decider of what I'm talking about. But anyway, this is the Tudor Pelagos left-hand drive LHD, as it's often known. I love this watch. It's all titanium, really, really cool, sort of almost faux patina, really nice bezel. You've got a roulette date wheel over there, the classic snowflake hands and square indices. These are, the Pelagos is, in my opinion, some of the best that Tudor produce. However, the Black Bay is just overshined everything else, really, and I think a lot of people sort of missed the boat on the Pelagos. You know, again, you be the decider of whether that's the case or not, but in my opinion, I think it is. Obviously, screw down crown over here on the left-hand side rather than the right. You have the helium escape valve over there. The reference to this one is 25610TNL, and this one is from November 2019. It does come with its full box and papers. And it comes with its spare rubber straps as well. This is back when Tudor used to be kind and provide spare straps with their watches. Nowadays, they're too good for that, so they don't give anything extra. Inside here, beating away in the back, is the Tudor Caliber MT5612-LHD for the left-hand drive. And you can see they're all numbered. Now, I don't know whether these are sequential numbering or, you know what, I have no idea, and it doesn't seem like anyone does either. If you look online, there's a lot of varying theories. So, you know, you be the decider of whether that's the case or not. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter in my opinion, but this is, if for those of you who are interested, this is number 8823, whether that's the 8823rd, I don't know. What made this watch so good when it first came out was the clasp. Now, for those of you who've seen the new Tudor, which we were lucky enough to actually get one in and sell, this is sort of a predecessor to that clasp, and it's very, very good. You have these three positions which you have to spring up and out. So these you can hear them ratchet away, so you've got your normal adjust. And then if you put it in the last one, this is the true sort of dive extension over a wetsuit, which is sprung loaded. So basically, as you're wearing your wetsuit and you expand, this will expand with you, which is very, very good, and it will sort of retract down as you do. It does also have a full dive extension as well, which you push this out and it comes all the way out. So you have loads of options when it comes to extensions on this watch. And again, you know, you've got those quick and easy adjust right there. You just got to make sure you fold this down basically to the right position. Still a flip-lock clasp. Very, very well built. You know, this is what made this watch so good when it came out, the Pelagos. The bracelet, the construction, the titanium, and the design. But talking about design, let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my just shy of 7-inch wrist. Now for me, this watch gives me all of the vintage Tudor, vintage Rolex vibes, or even vintage Tudor Snowflake vibes, but with a slight quirkiness with the left-hand drive. You know, the whole sort of matte finish to the bezel, matte dial, the sort of lume colour, it looks like an old sub. to me. And you've also got that roulette date wheel, which I find really cool. But here we go. So this is 42mm by 49.5mm lug to lug, so it's under that 50mm sweet spot, 14mm thick and 22mm lug, so endless options on strap options, although I do really like it on the bracelet. I think it's really comfortable and it's a good looking watch, so go check this one out on the website. From there to one that is my second favourite, and we'll get on to my personal reasons why I wouldn't own this watch, but why I think it is a fantastic option for those who like these kind of things, and that is the 925 sterling silver. Let's take a closer look. Now we're on to the Tudor Black Bay 925 sterling silver. So 925, for those of you who know, that is 0.925 in terms of the sterling silver sort of composition, so 92.5% sterling silver, the rest are other alloys. Now what makes this one so special according to Tudor is the fact that the remaining alloys is a different mixture to what is usually used within silver, so it makes it more tarnish resistant. However, what we can say now, these have been out on the market for a while, and there's people who have worn it every day, people who have worn it sort of every now and again, people who kept them in the box. This will still tarnish. Now, is that a bad thing? I mean, personally, no. I actually have, interestingly, a sterling silver watch right here from 1917 or 1918, I can't remember, one or the other, you know, a trench watch in sterling silver. And this also tarnishes, and a silver cloth over that every now and again actually does the trick. Now, for those of you who have owned silver jewelry, you'll know that, you know, regular wear and use actually helps with tarnishing, because tarnishing isn't anything bad against the material. What it actually is it's silver protecting itself. It's oxidizing the same way bronze does. So basically it's building up almost like a immune layer over the top of its metal to protect itself, which means a silver cloth usually just gets rid of it. So that's something to keep in mind. And the reason I said this isn't something I would go for personally, the reason being, it's the same reason I'm not a big fan of bronze personally. I don't like the way they patina. I don't like the way they age. And the same with silver. You know, I have that trench watch, which is actually going to be coming for sale soon, but you know, it's very different because of the age of it and because it all looks old. So I kind of accept it, you know, getting a bit of patina in the case, getting a bit of age. Whereas on a brand new watch, for me, it just doesn't quite do it. Now, for some of you out there, you love that patina being able to come quite quickly, which is the sort of attraction of bronze. And I think it would be the attraction of silver. Now, if they made this in stainless steel with this colour dial and bezel, I would be all over it. I love this. They call it taupe. Absolutely gorgeous colour combination. Paired on this strap is lovely as well. They have a really nice NATO strap, which again is fantastic. But the reference to this one is the 79010SG-00001, and inside beating away is the automatic Tudor caliber MT5400 with an exhibition case back. So you can actually see that movement and that lovely designed rotor spinning away. It's a very good looking movement. It's very industrial, it's very sort of ergonomic, it's not beautifully finished, it's not, you know, there's no perlaging or anything sort of noteworthy. It's just a good, reliable movement. Now this one is from December 2021. It does come with its full box and paperwork, as you'd expect, and there isn't any tarnishing other than a little bit on the buckle, but as I say, a little silver cloth should get that straight off. But they show on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. Now, interestingly, these straps only have one keeper, and the keeper, for those of you that don't know, is the little leather bit that you sort of tuck the strap into, and it actually makes it very comfortable. You know, you be the decider of whether that matters or not, but it's just something noteworthy. 39mm by 48mm lug to lug, only 12.5mm thick and 20mm lugs. This is a very well proportioned watch. Of course, you'd expect that being part of the 58 family. But yeah, just a really good watch, especially if you like the fact it is silver. It's a very sort of niche thing, and we've not seen it for a very long time. So I think it's got that sort of collectability aspect to it, regardless of whether we like it or not and whether it tarnishes or not. So go check it out on the website. From there to a watch that just keeps creeping up in value, and I mean, we can all see why, and it's kind of amazing really that it's taken this long for people to appreciate how fantastic this watch is. But that is the Tudor Black Bay ETA Black. Let's have a closer look. Next up we have the Tudor Black Bay Black ETA. So this watch was only made for around 6 months before they discontinued it and bought out the in-house movement. I was actually working at a retailer of Tudor when this happened, and I remember them discontinuing this watch, bringing out the new in-house movement, and basically we got an email in saying, please just get rid of the ETA ones. We don't want to see them in the window. They didn't even call them the ETA ones back then. It was just the older Black Bay. And we were discounting them. We were discounting them massively, and we could not shift them because people people would come in and say, well, why would I want the old one with the less, superior movement, with the worst movement, as they would say. And everyone kept going for the new one, regardless of how cheap we made this, which is kind of comical today because this is a collector's piece. This is now something that was made for such a short period of time and very, very rare, really, in the world of what Tudor and Rolex produce. And therefore prices have definitely gone a bit sky high, and I think hindsight's one of those wonderful things. If we had known this, I would have bought up all the ones I possibly could have back then across all the colours, because they did it in the black, the red and the blue. Really gorgeous piece. One sort of way to quickly tell whether it's an ETA or not is the smiley face, as they're often called, because the text is curved around the bottom, thus a smiley face. This example right here is obviously the reference 79220N, which is N is for noir or black. You have a sticker right there, the barcode sticker still on the side. Now this isn't new old stock, however it is very much likely unworn or worn a few times. Any marks you do see are from storage over the years, which is to be expected really. You can see it is on its original leather strap, and I believe there is also an additional strap in the box, maybe one of the NATOs, but go over to the website and you can see for yourself. You can still see some remnants of stickers, and I can tell you that the Tudors still have the bracelet for sale, so you can still pick up the bracelet for this watch. Inside this is an automatic ETA 2824, a very good and reliable movement, very easily serviceable, which is what makes this even more attractive than the new in-house, because it's a lot cheaper to do so. And this one's from May 2015 with its full box and paperwork as well, which again just adds to the reason this one is quite special. But let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. I always prefer the Black Bay 58 case sizing and profile. However, this is totally wearable, and you could definitely get away with it with, smaller than my wrist size as well. So this is 41mm by 50mm lug to lug, right on that sweet point, only 12mm thick, which is actually quite thin. You look at these and they often think they're a lot thicker, but it really isn't. 22mm lugs, again, really, really good, convenient. So go check this one out on the website. From there to a watch that we have had before in the exact same reference, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it, and we've got one again. Now it's not the exact same one as last time, this one is 1 year later, but it looks identical. This is a gorgeous 18 karat gold jumbo Amiga Seamaster. Let's have a closer look. And here we go, an absolutely gorgeous Amiga. So if you're a fan of Amiga and you're a fan of vintage Amiga, this is one you definitely need to keep an eye out on. So, for those of you who don't know, if you go straight over to the website, you're going to see this watch and you're going to see the price, and you're going to be probably a little bit confused. So let's rewind back to why this is the price it is. This isn't any old Seamaster. This is a chronometer Seamaster from 1968. It's also a jumbo size. Now what that means is it's 36.5mm. Now to today's standards that's quite small, but back then, back in 1968, it's quite a big watch. You've got to think of what these golder dressier pieces were. They were often 32, 33mm, 34mm at a push. So 36.5mm is a big watch for the time. It also has this gorgeous thicker case, really, really beautiful. Lovely profiling with the chamfers as well. Nice gorgeous case back, and as I say, chronometer movement, which is the Amiga caliber 564. Now the exact reference to this one is a 168022, and as I say, importantly, it's from circa 1968. All those factors are what makes this the price it is. Yes, you can go pick yourself up a nice Amiga Seamaster in solid 18 karat gold, probably for $2 less, but it won't be this one, it won't be this kind of size, and it won't be this reference, and that's what makes this so special and so important. As I say, we had one in the past, and that was the first one I'd ever seen of this reference, so I feel very lucky to be able to have got another one, and it also be in fantastic condition, just like the last one. So, again, you're an Amiga collector, this is one you should be considering. This is one you should at least know about, because a lot of people don't know about this reference, they don't know about this model. And if you love this, but you're not a fan of the gold, there is also a steel variant, and it's also absolutely beautiful. They do it in day date as well as just date, again, on a bracelet as well. So a really good option regardless. But let's show on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. It just sits like a glove. It really is beautiful on and off the wrist. At 36.5mm, as I said a few times now, 42mm lug to lug, only 10mm thick for an automatic. It's absolutely gorgeous. And 19mm lug. So yes, a little bit awkward on that lug length, but to be honest, you can get straps out there, and there's some strap makers who would happily make a strap for this that would look fantastic. Strap Tailor being one of them. So go check this out on the website. Let's stick to gold and let's go to something even classier, and that is this gorgeous two-hander Piaget. Let's have a close look at this beautiful watch. Next up is a watch I am very excited to bring you. I think this watch offers incredible value for money if you're looking for a two-hand classy 18 karat gold dress watch. There isn't actually a huge amount of options. You might think there is, but often it's Cartier. And as we all know, Cartier is on a huge hype at the moment, and rightfully so. You know, they're producing some absolutely beautiful watches and always have. But however, Piaget really have been up there since the early days, and they're starting to definitely make their dent in the industry again, as we're seeing with Bulgari and a lot of these other sort of more jewelry brands really making a wave in the watch world and sort of saying, look guys, we might be jewelry, we might be design focused, but we're producing some of the world's thinnest movements, we're producing some of the world's best decorated movements, you know, and I'm talking about Bulgari here, but Piaget used to hold that same caliber. And talking of that, inside this is a manually wound Piaget caliber 9P2, which is a manually wound movement, and you can see how thin this watch is. It's absolutely incredible, beautiful craftsmanship. 18 karat gold, as I said, a beautiful champagne 18 karat gold style dial with those two hands which are chamfered perfectly. Original crown, and very importantly, original 18 karat gold Piaget buckle, which just suits the design perfectly. And this one is from circa 1979, and it comes in wonderful condition. The reference to this one is 91542, and as I say, inside is the 9P2. I think I said P92, I meant 9P2. Inside a very famous movement from Piaget for being incredibly thin. But let's show this one on wrist and taught dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. It's certainly on the smaller size, but it looks absolutely classy. I had someone make a comment actually about the massive Cartier tank we've got on the website, the extra large one, and they said for them they feel like a Cartier should, or a tank in general, should be like a stamp on the wrist. It should be small, dainty and understated, and I thought that was a really beautiful way of putting it, because this right here is exactly that. It's understated whilst being sort of overstated in an elegant way, if that makes sense. This is 25mm by 27.5mm lug to lug, only 4.5mm thick. That's including case and everything. It's incredible. And 17mm lug, so a little bit awkward on the lug length, but again, there's some fantastic strap makers out there who would be sort of very happy to make a strap for this beautiful watch. I would recommend going for as thin as you can and no padding, just to make it work with the thinness of the watch. But a gorgeous one, well worth checking out and well worth every penny. From there, let's switch it up completely. Let's go completely left field with this absolutely awesome Scofield Signalman. Let's have a closer look. Next up is this absolutely awesome and much larger than the watches we've looked at so far today, Scofield Signalman. You've got a power reserve over there, you've got a 24-hour down there, you're running seconds, absolutely gorgeous. And it is a black DLC, matte DLC coated case with a polished top, limited to 300 pieces. A very, very, very cool watch. And as the reference goes, it is a Signalman silver top, hence the polished top. They always have really fascinating case backs, as you can see, often incorporating lighthouses, which the watches are named after, and a very, very cool story as well. Scofield, you know, I'd highly recommend researching it. If you're someone who's interested in British brands and British design, Giles over at Scofield is a fantastic character in this industry, and I think we are very lucky to have someone like that doing these kind of designs. Whether you like them or not, he is sticking true to what he likes and what he designs, and there's no sort of give or take, and I love that about what he does. Nice screw down crown as well. Just a really good watch with a nice automatic movement inside. This one is from November 2016. If I'm not mistaken, this is the one that comes with a plethora of spare straps, an ungodly amount. If I am wrong, I apologise, but you'll see it on the website with the photos. If not, Scofield offer a huge variety of straps, and I'm sure if you reach out, he'll do you a pretty decent deal on a few. And that's going to come in quite handy because they are very unique style straps. You would be able to fit most straps in as long as it would fit with their big sort of tube. And he always does these interesting buckles. This is his probably most tame one, being all black, but we've often seen bright pink, bright orange, green, all kinds of crazy colours. But let's show this one on wrist and taught dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. It is a big watch, there's no doubt about it. Could I get away with it? I think so. I think I could just about get away with this, but it's not my usual sort of thing. If Scofield released a smaller watch, I'd be all over it, but unfortunately I don't think they will, because again, what Giles likes is what he produces, and I respect that. So this is 44mm by 51.5mm lug to lug, 15mm thick and 24mm lugs. Again, no small watch, but it wears well, so go check it out on the website. Now we're going on to another awesome piece. The last one we had sold out instantly. We'll see how quick this one goes. This is the Kurono Tokyo, and let's have a closer look at this. Next up is a absolutely gorgeous Kurono Tokyo, and I'm going to butcher the pronunciation, which is quite typical for me, but I'm definitely going to do it with this one. I think it's called the Grand Hagane. Again, probably absolutely butchered that, so my apologies. But this has, or features, the beautiful dark brown dial which has these sort of speckles on it. It's absolutely gorgeous, very difficult to capture, very difficult to explain. It's one of those, once you have it in hand, you see exactly what I mean. You have their iconic hands which are beautifully polished, and these beautiful numerals around the outside as well in this sort of thick white print. Absolutely gorgeous. As always, their nice case design as well, which sits perfectly on the wrist, and we'll discuss that in a moment. But a very, very cool piece, there's no doubt about it. Inside beaten away is the automatic Miyota caliber 90S5, one of the higher end Miyota calibers. That's very, very well made, and you don't have that awful Miyota rotor as you often hear, so it feels nice on the wrist. And it's from March 2022. This one is unworn. It's only ever been put on to sort of show photos on our Instagram and things like that, but you can see the strap is in fantastic condition, no creases, and it is all wrapped as well. We've just taken the wrapping off to show you guys closer as well, but they show it on wrist and taut dimensions. And there we go, just sort of folding the strap through the keepers to get it on wrist. Absolutely gorgeous. This is 36.5mm by 43mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick and 20mm lugs. Beautifully proportioned, especially on my wrist, and I think most people with smaller wrists as well. Even bigger wrists, you could totally pull this off as long as you're comfortable with a slightly smaller watch, but beautifully designed, beautifully laid out. So go check it out on the website. From there to a watch we've had before, and again it went fairly quickly, and again a watch I absolutely love, and I think it's really, really cool. So let's have a closer look. This is the Baltic UAE. Let's have a closer look. Next up is one of Baltic's nicest designs, in my opinion, so far. I know it won't be to everyone's taste, but I think this is absolutely gorgeous. This is a limited edition they did with Perpetual, which is a retailer over in Dubai, I believe, which sell sort of very high-end brands and do a lot of bespoke pieces and a lot of limited editions. And they work with Baltic to do this limited edition run, which is absolutely stunning. You've got the sort of Arabic bezel, Arabic dial, Arabic date. They sort of kept the consistency throughout, which is fantastic. It was also done for the 55th or the 50th anniversary of the UAE. Limited to 71 pieces in this example, and it also came with some other models, and they did a limited edition set which brought the number up as well, but 71 of this example, and the references is GMT-T-50, and inside is an automatic Soprod C125, which is what Baltic have used across a lot of their GMT models. This one's from 2021. It does come with its full box and papers, and again is unworn. The only sort of crease into the strap is where it's fastened to the cushion in the box, so keep that in mind. But a gorgeous bezel as well. I love it, with that faded sort of red, almost sort of like a burgundy maroon colour with the black. Absolutely gorgeous. Nice screw down crown, which actually lines up perfectly. I think that's just a coincidence, because it's very difficult to actually do that. Baltic signed clasp, buckle weaving, and as I say, signed screw down case back. Gorgeous. Let's show on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. It fits so well and just looks so good in my opinion. This is 39mm by 47mm lug to lug, very similar to that of the Black Bay 58, so keep that in mind. 13mm thick and 20mm lugs, so endless options right there if you're not a fan of this black leather, although it does really work. It looks good, and I've seen some of the people actually put it on the Baltic bracelet. That also looks absolutely fantastic, so keep that in mind as well. Go check it out on the website. From there, let's switch back again. Let's go to Bremont, and this time we have a U22, which is insane value for money. And again, I don't think this one will last long or make it even to the drop. The thing with Bremont, if they're cheap enough, they sell really, really fast, because there is a huge amount of value in these. And I say it every time, don't buy Bremont retail, buy it pre-owned. If you can get a deal like this, it's totally worth picking up. So let's have a closer look. So next up is this Bremont U22 with the gorgeous grey dial. I think this looks fantastic. And interestingly, a grey barrel has been added. Now, I believe either it came with the grey or they've bought the bronze afterwards, or it came with the bronze and they bought the grey afterwards. I think it was that way round. So there is also a bronze barrel with the watch that you can swap it out to if you would like. However, I think this looks far better than the bronze for me personally. This has Bremont's triptych case design, which they're sort of famous for. It's 3 separate pieces all put together to make a very anti-shock and anti sort of everything case. That's what Bremont sort of do. Now, beaten away inside this is one of Bremont's calibers. It's got a very long name, but it's basically a modified ETA or Solita. So do keep that in mind. Not there's anything wrong with that. It's just, you know, that's how they word it. But as I say, reference U22, a very good and very cool watch. This does come with its full box and booklets and COSC certificate. Unfortunately, it doesn't come with its original signed guarantee card, but it is priced very, very well and very fair from 2021. As you can see, it comes on a Bremont strap, Bremont buckle, all of that you'd expect. But again, the design is what speaks to me on this one. Nice day-date design over there, nice hands, you know, the 12, 6 and 9. This just feels right. And when it's on wrist as well, it's very, very comfortable, although it is a larger watch. So let's show on wrist and talk dimension. And here we go on my wrist. Now, something to keep in mind is these Bremont straps are very thick and very stiff, but once you wear them in, they become very comfortable. So there you go. So this is 43mm by 49.5mm lug to lug. So it's big watch, but it's not too long on the lug to lug. It's only 14mm thick and 22mm lugs. Endless options, although I would stick to some Bremont straps because I think they just really work with the design. So go check this one out on the website. From there, we've got a couple more really interesting watches on the table, and we're going to have to go to probably one of the nicest example King Seikos I've seen, especially of this reference, and it's a very special one. Let's take a closer look. So next up is a watch that I challenge you to find a nicer example of. This is the Seiko King Seiko Special High Beat. This one is from circa 1973 March to be exact, and the reference to this is the 5245-6000. This is the monocoque reference, which means everything comes through the front. You can see it has original Japanese engraving on there. I'm sure we could find out what that says, but I suspect this was gifted to someone as a sort of present for working somewhere, commemorative piece. Original crown right there, which is recessed in beautifully. The overall case profile is gorgeous, and that original linen dial, absolutely stunning. And what makes this so special is that movement. That's a high beat chronometer certified, because this is back when Seiko was still submitting their movements for chronometer spec, which is really, really interesting. So the caliber is the 5245. Now again, what makes this reference so special is if we look right here, you can see there's a screw in the case. Now, if you are not a watchmaker, do not mess with that screw. That is a micro regulator on the outside of the case. The reason they did this is because, let's say you've been wearing your watch and it's been serviced and it just needs regulating, which can happen, rather than having to take the crystal off, take the dial out, go through the front, which is what you have to do on these monocoque cases because it's all made of one piece of metal. You could, if you're a watchmaker again, you can regulate via the micro regulator. So you wouldn't need to open it all up again. A very good way to get over that problem, which not a lot of brands have done, because you have to just pop it open and go through all the motions again, which for a watchmaker is a nightmare. But what makes this one so special is all of those features plus condition. Again, this dial is stunning, it's mint, and I challenge you to find a better example. So let's show this one on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. Really great profile with that case, which isn't round, it's more tourneau. So you've got 35.5mm by 40mm lug to lug, only 10mm thick and 18mm lugs. Endless options right there. But again, I think this combination looks fantastic, and this is one beautiful design. Go check it out on the website. Only a couple more left, and let's go on to a limited edition. I just said a limited addiction, completely wrong. Limited edition Doxa. Let's take a closer look. So next up we have an anniversary piece from Doxa. This is the 130-year anniversary sub 200, limited to 130 pieces, again in reference to the 130 years. Really beautifully done, especially as we pop this open. You can see you've got that really nice contrasting orange hand against the black dial. Sort of faux loom on the inside, nice bezel as well. 130 years stated that right there with the fish emblem, which is nice, which is actually one of their logos, as you can see, proudly stated on the clasp, and also on the buckle on the crown, sorry, in orange. Beautifully done. The thing that makes these so special is the case profile, in my opinion. It sits beautifully on the wrist. You've paired on this nice Jubilee bracelet, and it does also come with a spare strap, potentially two, again, which are Doxa's own straps, so they are quite expensive, and you're getting it all in this package, if I'm not mistaken. Again, go see the website to be certain. Inside is the automatic ETA 2824-2, so sort of unlimited serviceability all the way through to the future, which is great, and it's from October 2019 with its box and papers. But they show it on wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my wrist. As you can see, it sits beautifully in those sort of curved lugs, very reminiscent of a Speedmaster. However, it's sort of in a much smaller case at 42. Well, actually, it's the same size at 42mm by 46mm lug to lug. 14mm thick and 19mm lug, so a little bit awkward on that lug length, but as I say, you've got the bracelet and I believe the spare rubber strap as well, so you're sort of, you're sorted. I think it looks pretty good on this bracelet. Go check it out on the website. From there, let's go back to vintage for a couple of watches. We've got this really awesome larger size 1972 Tissot. Let's take a closer look. Next up is a watch I've been excited to bring to you guys. I was just waiting for it to finish in service, and this is a Tissot C-Star, but not just any C-Star. This is the Jumbo 37mm with that blue inner chapter ring contrasting against the silver dial. Absolutely stunning. The moment I saw this watch, I had to pick it up and bring it to you guys and girls. Nice recessed original Tissot crowns, case back as well, which is plain but signed on the inside. And the reference to this one is the 44628-1. It's from circa 1972, and its inside is the automatic Tissot caliber 784-2. And this is very much of its time period in the 70s. You've got that bigger size, the colours, everything, the sort of UFO design I absolutely love. You've got the date over there at 3. This just ticks a lot of boxes for me, and we paired it on this nice blue suede. You guys and girls know I'm a big fan of suede. They look fantastic, especially when that blue and blue sort of match. It looks brilliant. But they show on wrist and taut dimensions. And there we go. As I say, 37mm by 43mm lug to lug. That is beautifully proportioned for a watch from 1972. Only 10.5mm thick and 18mm lug, so endless options right there on straps. Although I really like it on the blue, that would be my choice, but you decide what you would like to wear it on. So go check it out on the website. Sticking to vintage, let's have a look at this really great value Regency World Timer bezel. Let's take a closer look. So next up is this Regency World Timer rotating bezel. Really awesome piece, and again, incredible value for money. You have this friction fit rotating bezel, which moves nicely, which has all the different places listed, including some places you don't often see nowadays, so keep an eye out on that bezel, have a look at the photos. Nice glossy black dial contrasting beautifully against those indices, and an interesting chapter ring on the inside as well, with plus minus on the 0 and plus minus on the 12 down here to allow you to better tell the time with the rotating bezel. Really interestingly done. So the reference to this one is 2054-U, and inside is a manually wound FHF 96-4. Very good and reliable movement. This one's from the 1960s, and it is keeping beautiful time, service, and it comes paired on a strap tailor strap as well, so nice bit of kit for the price, that's for sure. Nice red date wheel there as well, but let's show it on wrist and taut dimension. And here we go on my wrist. Now, something to keep in mind, this is a smaller strap, so we will provide a generic strap, so if you have a smaller wrist, you'll be fine with a strap and you get a nice high quality strap. But if your wrist is bigger than mine, you're probably going to struggle with this, and you probably won't want to wear it on this, so as I say, we'll provide a generic strap. But here we go. So this is 36mm by 43.5mm, only 10mm thick and 18mm lugs. Endless options, beautifully proportioned, and a really good looking watch for the price. As I say, I think it will surprise you when you head over to the website. And last but by no means least, a really awesome unworn Smith's Commando in brown. I love this watch. Let's have a closer look. And finally, this gorgeous Smith's Commando. It's giving me all kinds of Ranger vibes personally with that brown dial. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. So this is the PRS 47 Commando, and inside beating away is the automatic Miyota 9039, but the 9000 series, which is one of the better of the Miyota series. Very simple screw down case back, beautifully sort of fake riveted bracelet with screws, very similar to what Tudor do. A nice milled clasp as well. Again, value for money of what these offer is insane. Nice screw down crown. It just ticks all the boxes. This is from November 2021. It does come with its full box and paperwork. It is unworn, unstickered, fully stickered and unsized as well. So let's show it on the wrist and taut dimensions. And here we go on my wrist, beautifully proportioned, especially on the bracelet. You've got 36mm by 44mm lug to lug, only 11mm thick and 20mm lugs. Endless options, although I'd be wearing it on the bracelet. I think it just ticks all the boxes. So go check it out. Again, very good value for money, this piece is. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is this week's drop, a big drop, 14 watches. I remember when these drops used to be 6 watches or 7 watches at most. And we used to actually, some weeks, struggle to get all the watches together in time. Whereas now, we are getting to the point of sort of 10 watches is like a regular occurrence at least. 12 to 14 is a bit more common now for us. So we're getting to a point where we need to start considering if this is always going to be the best way to do it. A lot of the guys and girls we know who deal in watches like this, they often put watches up as they get them in. Trouble with that is there isn't the consistency of, like Saturday mornings is when you come to the website to see the drop, to see the video. It's a very nice repetitive thing each week. You come to expect it. Whereas, doing it the other way doesn't work quite the same way. It just doesn't feel as good for us. However, if we keep getting to the point where we have this many watches coming soon, at some point we have 40 to 50 watches coming soon. We sort of delayed by quite a few weeks to get them on the website, which isn't ideal either. So if you guys and girls have any suggestions, anything you think would work really well, let us know down in the comments. At the end of the day, you are the consumers, you are the buyers, you are the people at the other end of what we produce. So therefore, your opinions and your thoughts are very, very important to the whole process. They're essential. So some of the best ideas we've had as a business have come off the back of consumers having an opinion or a thought that they thought would work better. So, let us know. We're very open to discussion and hearing what you guys think. So let us know down in the comments. But that's it. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. I know I will be. I'll be sat in the sun getting many, many drinks, as many as I can possibly have. But I'll see you all again next week. Take care.